Hi, Flosstube. It's Deanna and Jarvis back for episode 3 of Tuxie Twin Stitches. Hi. You want to say hi? He wanted to say hi to everyone. I did want to show you guys Sammy, but she's a little scared of cameras and stuff like that. So she's snoozing on the bed right now. As you can see, we have an audience. I am on the other side of my dining room right now, and these guys are my collection of old photographs. So I collect a lot of different antiques. Okay, bye. And one of the antiques that I collect are old photographs. I find them fascinating. I collect the small ones like the cabinet cards and CDVs and stuff like that, but I also have some larger ones. I feel like if I don't save them, they'll just end up in the trash, and I think that's tragic because someone obviously cared enough about them to have a photograph of these people, and you know, especially large ones like these, they were probably often very expensive to create. So, and the frames are real wood, they're gorgeous. Some of them have the convex glass. So I give them a new home and a new life, and sometimes I'll name them. This sour looking lady right here, I named her Nellie, and I call her Aunt Nellie, and my cat Jarvis is obsessed with her. He will just sit and stare at her and sometimes just meow at the picture. So I don't know if her, spirit is still attached to this photograph, but Jarvis really, really loves her. This guy right here, he actually has, I actually know his name and a bit about his story. His name was William Thistle, which is so cute. And he was from Newfoundland. I got this picture for my birthday from my parents at an antique shop downtown in St. John's, and the lady who owned him, it was her great-grandfather. Sorry. She unfortunately was moving to a senior's home and didn't have room, and none of her family wanted him. So ended up at an antique shop, and I saved him. I adopted him. But poor William Thistle, actually, he was working at a construction site in Boston, and he died. There was a workplace accident, and he died. And I think it was about 1904 when he passed away. So really sad. But he's pretty handsome. As you can see in this one here, I do like to collect photographs of mustachioed men. They're great. I love them. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. Life has been, I don't know, just stressful and hectic the past couple of weeks. I am having some issues with people that I used to work with, and it's not something I ever wanted to have to deal with. I don't like drama. I know people say that, but I don't know. It's been stressful, mentally and emotionally, and also, physically. It's eating me up inside. I'm a very sensitive, emotional person, and I just don't like drama. But whatever, that's okay. Life goes on. I'm still working at the Pharmacy Museum in St. John's, and I love it. My 2 summer students finish up next week, and then I'll be by myself. So, that's kind of scary. But they've been doing great work, and I'm really excited. And to get into that, I had a really lovely mention from Michelle Bendy Stitchy. Hi, Michelle. I love your videos. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch little old me. And she asked about my museum work and what I did, so I thought I would get into that a little bit. So I have wanted to work in a museum since I was about 8 or 9 years old. I love history, and that's what I wanted to do. I went on a field trip to a place called Black Creek Pioneer Village. It's in Toronto, just not downtown, and it is a living history village. So what they did was they rescued a lot of heritage buildings, and some were in the area, some were in different towns in Ontario, and they moved them and created this living history village. It's really cool. It has over, I think, about 40 heritage structures, including a working flour mill, and it's got a restaurant. They've just recently started crafting their own beer. It's a working farm, and it has a lot of heritage breeds. They've got Clydesdale horses, they have sheep, pigs, a lot of chickens, bunnies. It's great. I love it. And so I went on a field trip when I was in grade 4, so I was about 9 years old, and I was like, that's it. I want to work here. I want to work here, or I want to live here. You can't actually live there, but it's fine. So that's what started the bug, and I've loved history ever since. So that's in the back of my mind. That's something I had always wanted to do. I went to McMaster University, which is in Hamilton, Ontario, and I got my BA in anthropology. And I loafed around for a few years. I had gotten a job straight out of university working at a small museum, but it was a lot of admin work, and it was a very small museum. Like most museums, not very well funded. There's just not a lot of money out there for museums and cultural institutes, unless you're really like a huge institute. So I got laid off because there was literally no money to pay me. So I was like, what am I going to do? I didn't really want to go back to school at that point. So instead, I spent a year living in England working as an au pair. And it's a fancy term for nanny. So I lived and worked at, this family's house for a year, taking care of their 2 kids. And living in England was amazing. I loved it. They lived just outside of London, so I got to go to a lot of different museums and galleries and just take in the sights, and it was amazing. So after I came back, I spent a year in a heavy depression. I was applying to places, and just there was nothing. There's nothing out there, and I had spent high school and university working retail, and I was like, I do not want to go back to retail. I was being very stubborn, and then I was about a year, and then I decided, you know what, if I really want to work in the museum industry, I need to go back to school. So I did. I went to Georgian College. It's in Barrie, Ontario, and I did my post-grad in museum and gallery studies. And that was great. It was a lot of hands-on experience. I got to work on a couple of art exhibitions and other things like that, and it was great. Part of that one-year program was an internship, and you could be doing anything you wanted: art gallery stuff, framing, shipping, museum work, anything. And you could go anywhere. So I was single. I'm still single, but that doesn't really matter. I didn't really have anyone or anything holding me back, and so I love to travel. And I decided I wanted to do my internship in another province. So I just started emailing a whole bunch of places, and this small museum in Newfoundland was like, we need someone to house and reorganize our collection space. And I said, sure, I'll do it. I'd love to. And that's how I ended up here in Newfoundland. And that's how I ended up in the museum I worked at for almost 2 years. And now I just started a new contract at the James J. O'Mara Pharmacy Museum, and I am the museum manager. So Michelle Bendy-Stitchie had asked if I was a curator, and yes, that's part of my job. When you work at a smaller institution, you wear a lot of hats in your job. So I do it all. I do programming and events, I do education, visitor services, curating, collections, exhibit design, admin stuff, financials, grants, everything. And I love it. I love getting to do different things every day, all at once. It's awesome. So here is the brochure for where I work. And so there's the building there. It's the building's from 1922, so it's an Art Deco, Art Nouveau style building, and it was the home of a pharmacy from 1922 until 1986, and then they wanted to turn it into a museum. So it's awesome. And I recently designed a couple of postcards of photographs from our collection. So there's some old medicine bottles, and these are all original. Some have the original medicines in them. There's thousands of bottles and artifacts in the museum. There's a lot of mortar and pestles, which are great. This one is a label dispenser. And so it has all the labels that you would put on the bottles or the boxes. And then this one is really cool. This is called a show globe, and it's a lot like a barber's pole. So a show globe would have signified that this was a pharmacy, and it's cool because the different color liquid, they would put different colors in, because show globes originated around the 16th century in Europe. And because a lot of people were illiterate back then, the different colors would signify the outbreak at the time. So blue could have been smallpox, red could have been measles, things like that. And then later on, show globes would have signified the wealth of the pharmacy. So sometimes pharmacies would have just walls full of show globes. I'm showing off, whatever. Anyways, thanks for the question, Michelle. I love talking about my museum work, and I could talk about it forever, but you guys are all here to look at my stitchy stuff. Before that, though, I do have a couple of mentions. Again, Michelle Bendy-Stitchie. I'm sure all of you have watched her, but if you haven't, go check her out. I will link everyone and everything I mentioned below. Next is Flannel Jammy's Farm. Donna, she's such a treasure. I love listening to her. She has such a calming, welcoming voice, and she's just so sweet. And her giggle is the cutest thing in the world. I love it. I've also just been just started watching Basic Stitches. They're so cute, mother and daughter duo, and they're really sweet and sassy. And I love the stuff that they work on. Also, Off the Grid Needle Arts. Fellow Caroline, fellow Canadian, hello. I've been really loving watching your adventures with the bears and the beavers and all that fun stuff. So, hello. If you're watching, you probably aren't, but that's okay. Country Stitchers, Deb and Liz, oh my god, they're just great. They have such great chemistry, and you can tell that they just are besties, and they're awesome. And then the next two are Bird Stitcher, who stitches awesome things, and she's so sweet, and I'm loving watching her videos and seeing her projects, and Cross My Stitches as well. She is working right now on this pattern called Bird Watcher, and it's amazing. So go check them all out if you haven't already. I know, I'm a newbie, so everyone probably knows who I'm talking about, but whatever. So let's start with some FFOs. I have two fully finished objects here. The first one is this guy, or this lady. This is called Witch and Whiskers, and it's from the Halloween issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine for this year. Oh, excuse me. And I stitched it on 14 count Aida that I coffee dyed, and there was a lot of empty space here, so I just stuck some buttons on. And then this fabric is from Walmart, and I attached it to this little mini crate. And inside is some Halloween candy. So I think that's really cute. This little crate I got at Dollarama for $2. Love it. So I'm excited. I think that was really cute. I love her stuff. You can see I sort of screwed up on the boots here, but she just has a wonky toe, I guess. And, you know, if you haven't read The Witches by Roald Dahl or seen the movie with Angelica Houston, do it. For years, every time I saw someone wearing pointy shoes, I was like, oh, witch! That's just me. I don't know if anyone else did that, but yeah, I love that movie. My second FFO is, and I've showed this finish, I think in my first video. This is one of the monthly bunnies from Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it's a monthly series going on for the year. So I finished it. I got this fabric at Dollarama. It's really crappy fabric, but I really liked it. I thought it was cute. And these are all just different pink and purple and cream colored buttons that I stuck on. And it's just on this wooden plaque that I got for $1.50 at a dollar store. And I think it's really cute. I love it, and it's hanging in my room right now. So I love this. I call it my Priscilla finish, my Priscilla and Chelsea finish, although probably not as fancy as theirs, but I'm working on it. So those were my two FFOs, and I have one finish. It is Vintage Witch by the Little Stitcher. This is a freebie chart that you can get on her website. It's thelittlestitcher.blogspot.com, and I love it. And I don't want to finish it in an oval frame similar to that. I didn't give myself a lot of room, but there it is. Love it. I stitched this on 14 count Aida that I coffee dyed, and it's stitched in Valdani Old Cottage Gray, which is a variegated thread. And I don't think I mentioned, this is stitched on 14 count oatmeal Aida using purple. So those are my FFOs and FOs. I have it all written down so I don't forget, although I probably will. Whips! So, last week I had showed you a bunch of my haul, and I've started 2 of them already. So, this one, which was my project yesterday, I've got these little pocket portfolio things inspired by Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche. They're awesome and clear so I can see everything. So this one is Kathy Barrick's After the Rain. I'm obsessed with it. It reminds me of Jane Austen. I love Jane Austen. Love her novels, love all the movies and miniseries, so I'm so excited. I am changing up some of the colors, so this is in blues and browns. I'm changing it to blues, grays, and a hint of yellow. And this is my progress so far. Whoop, there you go. I love it. Love, love, love it. So this is I started in the top left. So there's the top part of her dress, which was in brown, and I've changed it to like a dark navy. Sorry, the colors are off. It's a bit overcast here today. And this is on 18 count Aida that I dyed using black turtle beans, and I love it. Love, love, love it. So I cannot wait I love working on this, and I can't wait to finish it. It will be framed and hung in my room because I love it. Next is another new start since the last time we saw each other, and it is Little House Needleworks Farmhouse Christmas Series, and it's the Little Red Barn with the sheep. You know I love sheep. I love them. Give me all the sheep patterns. And there's my progress so far. I'm stitching this on 14 count oatmeal Aida that I also dunked in the black turtle beans, so to make it more gray, and I love how it turned out. And I am changing the colors because I don't have a lot of fancy floss. So this is Valdani Proud Turkey, and then instead of the Classic Colorworks Pebble Beach, I'm using Valdani Tarnished Gold, and I think it's awesome. I think the gold just is very Christmassy, so I'm excited about this. I had a lot of trouble with this guy. I did the border, and then I just was so excited and to work on it that I flitted from piece to piece to piece, and then I had to frog this thing 4 times because I was off in my stitches, because I kept going, I started here, and then I was like, oh, now I want to do the sheep. And then I was like, oh, now I want to do the barn. And then I was like, damn, I'm off. Oh, my God. So we're on track now, I think. I hope. If not, I'm just going to fudge it because I am not ripping anything else out. But I love it. I'm really excited to get this finished. I'm not doing all of them. I only have the Little Red Barn and Dairy Darlin. I was looking at Grandpa's truck because it looks super cute, but we'll see. I'm I just stitch what I like. I'm not gonna, if I don't want the whole series, I'll just buy parts that I want. I don't have to subscribe to the rules. I'm my own woman. Anyway, next is Prairie Schooler Autumn. Oh God, if I can like get this out. Prairie Schooler Prairie Seasons, and I'm doing the autumn chart. Doesn't that barn look like red to you, like browny red? The colors are just really off on the photograph because the barn is brown. My squirrel still has diarrhea. Whatever, that's fine. I'll get to the leaf border eventually. But I got a lot more done on this, so I'm working on the barn, filling in the barn, and I love it. It's coming along. I may get it done in time for autumn. I have till September 21st is the first day of autumn, so I got like a month. I can do it. Maybe. And my last whip is from just Cross Stitch Magazine, the Halloween issue, and it's Halloween is Here by Simona Busiglieri. I hope I said that right. It got cut off a little because this is my working copy. I don't like sticking a whole magazine in here because I'm pretty rough and I don't want to like rip other pages or patterns, so I just photocopied it. And if you follow me on Instagram, which I'll link below if you want to, I had started it on a fabric similar to my After the Rain, which was a light gray. Sorry, it's at the bottom. I'm not going to pull it out. And the white really wasn't showing up. So I pulled the white and then I dyed the fabric. And I'll show you the fabric first. Look at that. Love it. I took some coffee, some instant coffee, and then I boiled some blueberries and took the liquid from the blueberries and I just splashed it around in different areas and then I put it in the oven. I love it. It's so awesome. And this is 18 count Aida, just a white Aida. And so this is my progress. I've got Calvin the cat. I've nicknamed him Calvin after Priscilla's son's mean kitty. I'm sure he's not that mean, but the kitty's done and working on the letters. So it only uses 2 colors of floss, black and white. Now I'm using the old I'm using the old cottage gray. Yes, I'm using the Valdani Old Cottage Gray for the black parts, and then just the DMC white. I'm not going to finish it like this. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm going to finish it, but I love it, and I love how the fabric turned out. And like it smells like burnt coffee and blueberries. It's pretty nice. Pretty proud of myself. I must say. So those are all my whips. Next is haul. It's not a lot. I have bought a lot though that I'm waiting on. I've just gone straight into the deep end with this stitching. Straight in. I'm like, oh, I have a couple of dollars. I'll just use it for stitching stuff now. It's like, oh my god, Deanna, you also need to feed your cats and eat and pay your hydro bill. Whatever. So I have found an Etsy shop called The Cross-Eyed Bear, and she sells new or gently used patterns. Oh my. Her name is Paula, and she's so sweet. And I have 2 other orders coming from her because she lists new stuff every day. And I'm like, you can't do this to me. I don't have enough money to buy all the things I want. But anyways, I did buy 2 Plum Street sampler patterns, charts, whatever. I'm not taking them out of the package. But this is Autumn You. You know me and sheep. But since there's only one sheep, remember, it's a shoop. But I love it. It's so autumny. Is autumny a word? I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, guys. Look at the white and orange pumpkins. I was about to say yellow. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Sorry. And the crescent moon and the crow and those lollipop trees remind me of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know. I just love it. Love it. And then Berry Cottage. You can't really see it here, but there's sheep. Several of them. And because I only stitch on Ada, I don't stitch, like, I stitch on over one anyway, so this calls for this tiny little house to be stitched over one, but instead I think I'm just going to add another sheep there. Shoop. Or something. I'm not sure. Because I'm not, or maybe by the time I get to this, I'll have moved up to stitching on 28 count or something. I don't know. Probably not. I'm comfortable stitching on Ada. I am really enjoying the 18 count Ada versus the 14 now. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm still new. I'm still working on it. So next is I got the new zine from Teresa, Kitten Stitcher. Samplers yesterday and today. Issue 1. I printed it out and put it in this folder, and I read it when I'm on the bus to and from work. I love it. It's amazing. There's 3 different projects. There's a reproduction sampler that Teresa did, and it's the Margrethe Sorensen from 1873, and that's this one right here. And then she has a inspired by garbage project, and it's the Coke bottle vase, and she has 3 little motifs that you can stitch on covered buttons or whatever. I think they would be cute as little fobs as well. And there's like a bee skep, a bee, and then a little Quaker flower motif thing. And then her featured designer was Paulette Stewart from Plum Street Samplers. And I've become obsessed with Plum Street Samplers. So her project is called On Merit, and it's super cute. The border is beautiful. Beautiful. And then at the end, she's got like a spotlight, a sampler stitchers gallery, and you can submit your own photos of you with your samplers. Now, I don't have any samplers yet, but I'm thinking that one of my next starts will be the Margrethe Sorensen sampler because I think it's beautiful. The colors are just gorgeous. So maybe I'll be in a future issue with my sampler. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's Sunday and I've had a rough week. Well, that's my haul. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Like, subscribe, comment. Yeah. I will list all the links below. I'm also on Instagram, and you can I'll pop my Instagram tag below. I am thinking of changing my Instagram name to Tuxie Twin Stitches because I design enamel pins, and so I have an Etsy shop where I sell my pins, but it's just, right now I'm just too busy to, it's a second full-time job, and I don't have the time or the money to invest in it, and it hasn't gone over as well as I would have hoped, so I'm thinking of just shutting it down, closing it out, and changing my Instagram name to Tuxie Twins Stitches. But we'll see. Nothing's concrete yet. This is just something that's been on my mind lately. But I will put my actual Instagram name below where you can follow me. And I will see you again in the near future. Bye, guys!